Good afternoon, YouTube. I've got the chest freezer here all set up. Been using it for several months and really like it. One problem I have with it though is this is a really nice open area and it's just unusable if you try to put some stuff on there. It rolls around, things roll off the back, and then you have to go fishing for it. So I was looking for some way to make this a usable workspace. So let me show you what I came up with. Right there. Now, that's a usable space. I can put round things on there. They won't go off the back. I can't dent the top of the freezer or scratch the paint. So let me show you how I made this. Okay, solution for problem number one is I picked up a cutting mat. This one is 3 feet by 4 feet. The top of the freezer I think is 41 inches by 27 if I recall. So I picked up a cutting mat that's bigger than I need so that I can cut it down to size. It's a two-sided mat. So you've got black on this side. And yeah, there's the other side. This one has green on the flip side. One thing I need to decide is which color I think will work the best. I think the green is a little brighter color. The black doesn't reflect as much light, but show dirt and oil and grease and whatnot less. So this cutting mat was double-sided. It's got this black side which has metric grid on it. Black mat with white grid lines. And I'm not liking this. I thought I would like this color. I'm finding the white on the black is just too contrasty. The 1 centimeter grid, it's too high a frequency. It kind of bothers my eyes looking at it. Get that moire pattern. And yeah, so here's the green side. I think I like that better. The white on the green is less contrasty than the white on the black. So I think I like this side better. So yeah, I think I will get this trimmed up, probably do that maybe tonight. So I'm just finishing up this freezer lid cover, if you will. So I've got the cutting mat laid out. Yesterday I was thinking I would try to prefabricate the angles that fit around here and then try to just drop the mat into the opening. But that was just going to be too hard to try to get this thing squared up. This angle is very flexible and it's kind of warped. Not like cutting nice 90-degree angles on wood. And then the other problem is you only have a small area in the corner there. The edge on that one only sticks out a ½ inch, and you'd only have a ½ inch overlap with the piece going across here. And then the other problem is if you overlap those joints, they're going to be thicker, and when they sit on top of the freezer, the corners are going to be up higher than the rest of it, so it's not really going to sit flat. So my second thought was, well, let's just glue the angle right onto the underside of the cutting mat. So last night I ran a bead of adhesive down there, stuck that end on, and then once that was dry, I stuck this side on. And then this morning, I got the back lined up there. Luckily, all the pieces are sort of warped, like the back piece was warped in the middle. If you clamp with a spring clamp, clamp the end, and then clamp the other end, the center pulls in tight. So then I just used some long blocks of aluminum along the back to hold the clamp, and I'm just getting ready now to do the front. The front is going to be underneath here, so I wiped it down with some isopropyl alcohol, got it all nice and clean, and then I ran some adhesive down here. Amazing Goop, their automotive stuff that's flexible. It's got a solvent base, so it really sticks well to plastic. So this one is going to be upside down, and it'll just fit in here like this. Got to try to get the clamp on there. Now I'll show you the other side here. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's about there. Get that corner in. Yeah, the block has to go underneath so the clamp doesn't crush the edge here. There we go. I think that's pretty much there. I guess I got a little bit of extra glue on there. Wipe that off now. Yeah, here's my blocks there. I've got some aluminum extrusion. So I'm going to put one there. And let me get this other one underneath here. Again, you need this because I need to spread the clamping force out. So I get this one over here, like that. And I'll put one in the middle. Ah, there we go. I think that'll do it. Got the edge right out here. I think that'll work. So yeah, I just let this sit for a few hours until the adhesive sets. Like the old saying goes, you can never have too many clamps. And the problem is this is all the clamps I have. So I've had to do this one side at a time. By tonight, this side should be dried up and I can take the clamps out. And then the idea is this lip here will hold the top from sliding off when I open the lid. I basically cut it a little wide. I just measured over how wide the top was and then cut down the 41-inch line there, and the same in the back. I went to the 27-inch line, so I'm actually this much more, the little extra bit, so I'm a little bit oversized, and the angle on the cutting mat really stiffens it up too. It's much more rigid. Lean it up against the wall and it's self-supporting now. So yeah, I'll come back when the glue is set up and we'll see how it works. The glue is set up and everything fits really nice. It just shoves back there. May need to notch this out around the handle. It catches a little bit right there. The nice thing is the springs on there are strong enough that you can lift up the lid. Yeah, I might need to move the freezer out a little bit. It's hitting in back. This bar is where the cabinet ends. So there's a good distance between the cabinet face and the top of the freezer. So actually, yeah, I think I might actually move the freezer out just a little bit. So just made a small notch here to fit around the handle. Sort of locks it in place so it's not going to slide either direction. And then the other thing I did was I took a block of foam. This is a little over an inch thick, and I glued this on the back of the two foam blocks that I have velcroed to the back of the freezer on the hinge brackets. And then that lets me raise the lid all the way up. I think that'll do the trick. So basically slid the freezer out an inch, which should give a little better airflow in back. And then it also makes it a little easier to reach the back of the work area here. Because if I stand here with my face up against the cabinet, I can only reach like that far. Yes, I just wanted to show you in detail the pieces I used. I didn't really show that in the assembly video. So on the side here, I used some PVC angle. Yeah, so you can see that's 1.5 inch on the long side, so 3/4 by 1.5. And then I had a piece of this left over from my patio lights that I installed last summer. So this is 1.5 inch square. I wanted to use some more of this, but it wasn't available anymore. So I decided to go with this one. The back is black and the sides are gray. And I'll put a link to this material, at least this one, in the video description. And I like this. It's fairly stiff, so you can pick up the side of the sheet. Definitely the shorter stuff works better in the front because you've got to clear the handle here. And I showed you how I notched that out. Yeah, I really like this work surface. You can dump out a whole box full of bolts. Long bolts here, you can just throw them on there, it doesn't matter. And yeah, if you need to cut something, you've got some cardboard, you can get your box cutter out and cut the cutting mat. The dimensions are kind of nice. You measure these bolts, like these are 10-inch long bolts. So real easy to check bolt lengths. We do a lot of metric hardware. This is an 80mm bolt. Need a metric bolt that's just about 3 inches long. Well, there you go. There's an 80mm bolt, and I can just check the length right there. But yeah, real easy to build, not terribly expensive, and it protects the investment you have in your freezer. You keep your freezer lid from getting beat up, and it It's a usable work area, and it doesn't interfere with the freezer operation. You just open the lid like normal. So anyway, hope that helps, and as always, thanks for watching.